So Hare Krishna, everybody. And Prabhuji gave this opportunity to share, favorite shlokas from Bhagavad Gita. So I'd like to start by saying, every verse is beautifully a gem in itself. It's educating, enlightening, and empowering verses. So my interaction I opened Bhagavad Gita first time for this shloka itself. And that was when Prabhuji's Sunday class, he mentioned Yoga Kshemam Vahamiham. So he asked, does anybody remember? I remembered this one from the LIC's logo. So actually, I should thank LIC for, advertising. But they forgot to mention their Bhagavad Gita 9.22. So what is this shloka is actually, for me, it's most assuring. It's very cryptic and deepest. And also it has gone into my subconscious mind, and I keep it repeating, though even I do not try to, but it's very lyrical too. So here it goes, 9.22. Ananyas chintanyato mam ye janah paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. So many commentators have compared this shloka as a shining gem, right? Located right in the middle of the Gita. So this shloka actually contains Ishwar's promise or Bhagwan's promise, Shri Krishna's promise to all devotees, that he will personally attend to the needs of his devotees. So, but now let's consider this. Our entire life, it comprises of two major activities: acquisition and preservation. The early part of our life goes in acquisition of knowledge, wealth, family, position, and title. And the later part of our life is devoted to preservation of what we have acquired. So then here we can say that Ishwar or Bhagwan is promising two things. First is yoga and the second is Shema. So what is the practical implication of this shloka? Like material stuff or spiritual? So material is, byproduct. So what Krishna is saying, he's saying that I will provide you I will preserve what you have and provide what you lack. So, but what is important is to understand, that he is also defining the type of devotee that is being discussed here in this shloka. Ananyas chintanyato mam. Krishna is speaking about Ananyas bhakti. Ananyas meaning having no other object in mind. Is that kind of devotee who doesn't think anything except Krishna. So what kind of devotee? Ananyas chintanyato mam ye jana paryupasate. The person who constantly worships me, always thinking of me alone, without any deviation in the mind. What will happen to such person? Tesham nitya abhiyuktanam. For such a person who is constantly engaged, who has no expectation in return, no deviation, ahaituki apratihata, then what will you get? Yoga kshemam vahami aham. This last line has 4 words: yoga, shemam, vahami, aham. So here the word to word translation of this last line says yoga means requirements, shemam means protection, vahami means carry, aham means I. So the God or Shri Krishna, he is giving you the guarantee, that I will carry what you lack. I will carry, or I will give you, your requirements and protect what you have. So let's take, try to understand this yoga and shemam. So Krishna is taking care of our yoga and shema. So what is yoga? Yoga means linking to supreme. Devotees who endeavor to approach and to serve Krishna, they are linking that connection with Krishna. So that is called yoga. And shema means Krishna is approach towards the devotee. You approach Krishna through your yoga and Krishna will approach you by causing shema. So shema is not just material prosperity, like he will not protect your material prosperity. He's promising on a spiritual plane. So for example, Prahlad Maharaj, he was constantly worshipping Krishna. So Hiranyakashipu was constantly disturbing him. He was attacking him in all sorts of ways. But could he harm Prahlad? No, he could not. Why? Krishna was protecting him all the time. So it is Krishna who will help us to come, who will come us to, protect our bhakti if we come to bhakti yoga. And when you start doing bhakti, if you continue to practice with sincerity, Krishna will constantly help you to intensify your practice through the scriptures, through other devotees, acharyas, and creating various opportunities to render service. He will constantly protect you, not only in some calamity, it's protection of consciousness, it's protection of our enthusiasm to perform bhakti. So that is the protection he is guaranteeing. So material prosperity is a byproduct. Most of the time, what many people think, okay, Ishwar is promising, okay, yoga, kshemam, vahami, what I do not have, I will get, maybe, like material prosperity, and he will protect my house and everything. But this is not Krishna is trying to say. The deeper meaning is he's promising to protect on a spiritual plane. So there were very fine examples given by Prabhupada, which I found out. So here he mentioned an example of a very big businessman that are like he, just like a very businessman, all his employees, they are taken care of, or he has attention, he has attention, and he knows he's the boss, and he takes care of all those employees. But he gives special attention to his children. Likewise, the Lord, he is anxious for all the living entities because it's his duty, but especially anxious for his devotees. And then one example was of fingers. Like fingers, they do not worry about being taken care of by the body, because the body itself takes care of the fingers. And a wonderful story was also narrated by Srila Prabhupada. It goes like this. There was a great devotee. His name was Arjunacharya. So when he was writing commentaries on this particular shloka, he saw that Tesham Nitya Abhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. So the Lord is saying, I myself take the burden and take the load on my head, and then I deliver them to my devotees. What they require. He doesn't require to go outside. Means I can go and deliver the goods, whatever he requires. It's written here. And he thought, oh, how is it possible that Lord will himself come and deliver the goods? It's not possible. He has so many demigods. He has so many agents. So he wanted to cut Vahamyaham. And then he wrote, I bear the burden and deliver. He wrote it in a way that it says, I send some agent who delivers. So practically he cut those Vahamyaham because he was not convinced by that. And that Brahman Arjunacharya, he was not very well-to-do Brahman. But the thing is that he and his wife, they were constantly worshipping Krishna. They were full devotees. They were really sincere devotees. And so it was very unimaginable for him to think Krishna of carrying, personal loads. So it's not because he was not a devotee. He was a very, very great devotee. And because he was a great devotee, he could not fathom imagining Krishna carrying burden. And he, in his thought, which was in a certain way, he cut those lines off. And he went to take bath. And his wife went to cook, and they were not well to do off. So she looked to her pots and pans, and they were empty because they did not have a lot of food stuff. And she was worrying, what should I do? What should I cook? But then she heard a knock, and then she saw two very beautiful boys with nice foodstuffs in large quantity, almost carrying on their head and were perspiring. And they said, like, Mother, Arjunacharya has sent these goods for you, and please take them. So she said, oh, you are so nice looking good boys, and why are you carrying such heavy load? And he said, no, if you please take this, and this Acharya has sent, and we are his disciples, and if you won't take, he will get very upset and he beat me also. The younger one with the little darker complexion said to her. And the wife was shocked because she never knew that he had any disciple to save. And overall, he put so much burden on young kids. She was really upset. She took them down and she offered them water and everything. And but the kids, they were not listening. They ran away because they said if he comes to know, he will get upset. And then the younger boy, he also showed 2 cane marks on his back. So that made the wife really very upset and very angry. So when Arjunacharya came and saw his wife upset and eating before husband, he was like surprised. When he asked the cause of this anger, she said that you have Acharya, you have become cruel. So you sent 2 very nice boys. They brought so many food stuff. You loaded on their head, and they, when they denied to take it, you beat them. So Arjunacharya was kind of taken aback. He said, "No, I never did this. Why should I do it?" And then she described the look of the boys. And as soon as she described the look of the boys, Arjunacharya, he understood, because I wrote that I wanted to wrote that God does not deliver. So he's delivered the goods. And because I got those words that he does not personally give, he has shown those beating marks. So he immediately corrected the manuscript. So the gist of this story is like Krishna himself came for the needs of his devotee. But the thing to remember is that devotee was constantly uh, uh, thinking about Krishna. He had no other desire. So it's not like, materially that, oh, we do it for a day, 2 days, a week, or 40 days, like we take a brother and we say, no, no, I'm doing this much for Krishna, and he will know. We have this insurance which he is giving, or this protection he is giving. It's giving for not this life, but another next life, another 40, maybe 100 lives. He's saying, whatever you have, yoga you have done to come to me, I will protect and I will remember that, and I will carry that burden. I personally guarantee you. So the thing is that if you constantly engage in Krishna's remembrance without any deviation, then if you do that, then your yoga that is linking with the Supreme or the Krishna will take care of your yoga, and he will give Shema or the protection. So that's what I understood. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. So nice. Very good. Mataji, what sources did you use?
Prabhuji, I read, and then there was one lecture by Gauranga Darshan Das Prabhuji, and there were few articles, one from Prabhupada's lecture. So from there, I took the notes and I wrote it down, Prabhuji.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Anybody has any questions for Mataji? Okay, great job, Mataji. Very inspiring and very beautiful.
Thank you.
So, Tarchan Prabhu, now you will.
Thank you, Prabhuji, and Hare Krishna to all devotees. Thank you for joining. So I will be speaking the text 66 from chapter 18. So 18.66. So before 18.66 itself, I will start with text 64, because 64, 65, 66 and 67, they are kind of, not similar, but the meaning goes one after another. So I'll just go with translation for 18.66. So here it goes. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. So here it says, Bhagavan says, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction. So that's the most confidential knowledge. Then now I'll go to the next one. Prabhuji can go to the next one. I'll just go, for the translation for 64, 65. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my dear friend. Now coming to text 66, which I will be talking. So here, sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sarvanam vajra aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshe sami ma sucha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Then on the text 67, again the translation is, this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not astute or devoted or engaged in devotional service, not to one who is envious of me. So Lord Krishna, here it says from 64, he is speaking to Arjuna, saying that this is my supreme instruction, most confidential knowledge, which devotee will get. And again, the 67 it says, those who are not devoted or invest me, they will not get. So here the Prabhuji, before even coming to ISKCON and your association, I used to read once in a while those like local prakasans, Gorakhpur prakasans, and those kind of things. So I had read this shloka once in a while randomly, and this was stuck. So that's why I thought to choose this one and I speak. So here it says, abandon all varieties of religion and just to surrender unto me. So the first thing, it comes and I'm say the what kind of religion, because Lord Krishna has spoke various knowledge and the process of religion in all the previous chapters. For example, about the Brahman, super soul, Varnashram dharma, sannyas, in a different kind of sense in a mind control, meditations, basically to cultivate the knowledge and for purification and to reach to him. But now I may say here it says, abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. So far he has been saying, all this kind of dharma. Now he is saying to, kind of, abandon. So it's kind of, contradiction. And also in the previously, like, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga, all various kind of, process for sense and mind control. So now I may say at the same time I may say he says abandon, and here it says surrender. So here it says to abandon all varieties of religion, just surrender unto me. So here what exactly Lord Krishna is trying to say is that you should give up all process that had been explained to him, and he should simply surrender to Krishna. That surrender will save him from all kinds of sinful reaction, and personally promises to protect him. So here also the Arjuna's confusion was like, whether it's a Kshatriya dharma or his school dharma, because by Kshatriya dharma, he should basically protect, all the people. But at the same time, on the other side, from his own kul, from his own dynasty, for example, his guru, his, Bhishma Pitama, all the, they are also in the other side. So I mean, so which route, he should take? So basically here Krishna is also basically instructing the whole world, taking Arjuna as the means. But here the real dharma, it means not just like, in modern day when we say like, Muslim dharma, Islam dharma, Hindu dharma. The real dharma here is to surrender him. So surrender him apart from like, going through all the previous, cultivation of knowledge which mentioned. But even that the supreme and the summit of dharma is to surrender him, completely surrender unto Krishna. So that's what he's trying to say here. And also in the chapter 4.7 and 4.8, also Krishna mentions two very popular shloka, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharat abhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham. Then paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanaya sambhavami yuga yuge. So that time also Krishna says, wherever there is decline in religion practice, what is in Bharata, a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion. I myself appear millennium after millennium. So here what he's trying to say is to not to establish the dharma which we generally think in modern times. is basically to complete surrender at highest level, the highest summit level of the dharma. And also in Prabhupada, in one of the lecture, I just copy pasted here, copy pasted, I mean, say in the file here. So it says, I mean, say, whenever there is a mismanage of word dharma or pure characteristic, at that time I appeared. So Krishna appeared for reestablishing the real principles of dharma. A religion, a real principle of dharma is to surrender. So he did not come, or he did not appear for establishing the so-called religion system in modern times, Hindu, Muslim, Christianity. Not that type. Real religion, therefore he says, Sarva dharman parityajya, give up all this and simply surrender unto me. So this is the highest of the dharma. So that was, and also in the 7th chapter, Lord Krishna also it says, the only one who has become free from all sinful reactions can take to the worship of Lord Krishna. So thus, I mean, so one may think that unless he is free from all sinful reactions, how he can take to the surrendering process. So here Krishna is saying, even though you may have, I may say, once you surrender, then I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. So the simply by process of surrendering to Sri Krishna, he is automatically basically freed. There is no need of extra effort to free oneself from any kind of sinful reactions. Or one should without hesitant accept Krishna as the supreme of all living entities. And also in the Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.676, there are 6 aspects of surrendering to God. So now basically we can say what exactly surrender. Now we are saying highest level is to surrender. You forget about all the yoga process and the cultivation which you have learned. Now just go to the top and surrender. So now what exactly is to surrender? So here in Bhakti Vilas Hari Bhakti Vilas 11.676. There is a anukulsya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam brojanam prarakshan iti viswaso gopitritve varnam tatha atmanam atmani chepa karpanya sadvida sharanagati. Yeah. So basically, there is 6 aspects of surrendering to God, and I'll just read one by one. So the first is to desire only in accordance with the desire only in accordance with the desire of God. The second is reject what is not in favor of devotion. Third is the faith that God will surely protect me. To maintain an attitude of gratitude toward God. Fifth is to see everything as possess as belong to God. Sixth, to give up the pride of having surrendered, basically to become humble. So these are the 6 aspects of surrendering to God, basically to the meaning of surrender. So surrender does not mean simply giving up or not doing anything or become sannyasi, that kind of thing. So that's highest level of basically the dharma. Now yeah, and also about surrendering in the previous shlokas, I mean previous chapters also, Lord Krishna has mentioned, for example, in the chapter 7, text of 14. Just read it, the translation. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the 3 modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome, but those who surrender unto me can easily cross beyond it. So again, here, the highest, not highest level, basically the significance of surrender. And again, in the chapter 7, text 19, again mentions, again I'll read the translation. After many births and deaths, he who is actual knowledge surrenders unto me. So after many births and deaths, who is actually knowledge surrenders to me. So even Bhagavan is not saying here just to do this process, do that kind of yoga, or all those transcendentalists they do. is saying he in actual knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to the cause of all causes, that and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So again, the significance of surrender and going through this sixth process and being in that platform is in the highest level. Bhagwan is saying here. And again, I will there is one more reference in the chapter 15, text 5. This is again that, Nirman Mohajit Sangadosha. The translation is here: those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. So again, the how significance of surrendering here. And I forget about so here again, the one thing I wanted to give is other example. The example in our shastras where mentioned examples from a scripture for those surrender soul. The one very most common example is Draupadi. So Draupadi, Draupadi when Dushasan tried to disrobe Draupadi, she held on her sari with her own strength, and she wanted to save herself from that disgrace disgrace on that assembly. And only when her full endeavor could not help her anymore, then she lifted basically her both hands and completely surrendered to Krishna, begging him to save her. So that is basically total expression of her surrender. And also in the scripture, the other example, Bhakta, Bhakta Prahlad, Prahlad Maharaj, then Bali Maharaj, Ambrisha Maharaj, and Gajendra. So these all are role models for surrendering process. So I think that's it, Prabhuji. So I will stop here. I think there are other duties we also have to present. So I think that's it for me now. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Darachan Prabhu. Very beautiful presentation. Very, very nice. So, Prabhuji, what sources did you use?
So, Prabhuji, that Hari Bhakti Vilas, I learned about that the sixth process, and also one of the lecture. I think many lectures are online. Prabhupada's lecture, and Prabhupada's purport itself from this sloka.
Excellent. Very nice. Very nice. How many devotees know here who wrote the Hari Bhakti Vilas? Other than
I know Prabhuji, Sanatana Goswami.
Yes, Sanatana. So very, very important book. But generally, Prabhupada has incorporated the teachings into relevant ones into his books. So we don't generally directly go to Hari Bhakti Vilas, but we certainly can look into references and understand. And Prabhupada has made it more relevant for us here, which we can follow. So in the beginning stages, we can start with Prabhupada's book, and then certainly we can read Hari Bhakti Vilas and see how Acharyas have given us nice entrance into the process of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, once again. Okay, who is going to share next? Suresh Prabhu, you're going to share? Or anybody else? It's open. Whoever cannot share it tomorrow and today only can share, should share it today. Because some devotees, they may be fine sharing tomorrow. So all those who can share tomorrow should wait and share it tomorrow. All those devotees who were supposed to share today and can't share tomorrow, one of the devotees from that can
go if Suresh Prabhu is okay with that.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Okay. So I will be sharing from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, text 7. Actually, I agree with Deepika Mataji. It's very difficult to find a shloka because all the Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself. So every single word, every single shloka is very important. But just want to share this verse, which is very close to my heart. I'll just chant it. कार्पण्य दोषोपहता स्वभावा पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसमूढचेता यच्छ्रेयस्यानिश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे निशिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्. So actually this verse was brought to my attention by Abhiram Gopal Prabhu. The reason why I feel that very connected to this verse is because actually I'll just share this. About 4 or 5 years ago, I made the wrong decision of actually studying for Bhakti Shastri while studying for my USMLEs. And I was listening to His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's lectures, and there were some situations in my life in which, the outcome was not clear. And at the time, Abhiram Gopal Prabhu had told me to stick this verse to the wall and pray to Krishna every time. Read the verse in the morning before chanting japa and basically pray to Krishna for direction. So I just wanted to share a few points from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu's lecture on this specific verse, and why I felt that very connected to it. So Prabhuji said that there is a significant shift of gears in this verse where Arjuna's relationship with Krishna as an intimate friend becomes that of a disciple. So he says in the last line of this verse, Shishyasteham. So I am your disciple. And Shadi, he says, I want your instruction. So basically, in some social circles, having a guru is, cultural fashion. But here, Arjuna is making it clear that, I just don't want to be your disciple, but I want your instruction and I want to follow your instruction. And in addition to that, he's saying Mam Tvam Prapannam, I surrender unto you. So Prapannam means putting aside our own will and becoming ready to do another's will. This is the definition of surrender. So here in this verse, Arjuna is displaying the ideal characteristics of a disciple, even according to Krishna's standards. What is Krishna's standards? Tadvidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya. So pranipatena is equivalent to shishyasteham. So I want to be your disciple, and pariprashnena. So Shadi, I want your instruction. So as we know in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna's, even though Arjuna's reasoning is faulty, but this surrender makes him worthy and capable of understanding the spiritual message which Krishna is about to speak moving forward. So basically, when we have this level of surrender, this level of self-perception, self-reflection, and self-criticism, that helps open our heart and understand the science. It helps all the knowledge enter our heart and helps us apply this knowledge in our life. So that's all I had to share. There were 3 steps basically. So first is admitting that we need help, and then seeking help from the right person, and then getting the help or the treatment and applying it in our life. So Arjuna is exhibiting these qualities which we can imbibe. And actually, there are so many situations in our life. Every time there is a difficult situation, we can turn to this prayer by Arjuna to Krishna, and that can help us surrender to Krishna rather than surrendering to our own ego, and that will give us success and help us get Krishna. That's all I had to share. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol, Mataji. Very nicely explained.
Hare Krishna. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. Nicely explaining, Kishore. Okay. So maybe we can see if any devotees, anyone else would like to share. Otherwise, we can conclude and do it tomorrow. How many of the devotees are able to present tomorrow? Those who were supposed to present